Genghis Khan just had this unquenchable desire to take over the world.
Yeah.
They would start killing people and lighting them on fire and putting them on catapults.
A long-lost diary attributed to Genghis Khan has been verified, but the final entry of history's most feared conqueror is particularly unsettling. This haunting revelation humanizes the legendary warlord, revealing a complex figure tormented by his violent legacy. What dark secrets lie within Khan's diary, and how will they change our perception of this infamous leader? Join us to find out. The final ride of the great Khan. The final moments of Genghis Khan's life were shrouded in mysterious sadness and apprehension. His life saga had constantly been characterized by domination, might, and triumph. Yet his demise took an unforeseen turn. It all commenced in the frigid winter of 1226, when he tumbled from his steed while out on a hunt. Initially, the fall appeared insignificant, but as time went by, his physical condition deteriorated. The harsh climate, strenuous journeys, and toll of numerous conflicts eventually took their toll on him, causing him to gradually fall gravely ill. During that period, he was in the midst of a military operation against the city of Zhongxing. Despite his army being prepared and fierce, the declining health of their leader was causing delays. His children and advisors urged him to halt the siege and return to Mongolia, emphasizing that his well-being was paramount. However, Genghis Khan's sense of pride drove him to continue the campaign. He was deeply wounded by an insult from a Xia commander, leading him to stubbornly push forward with the siege, disregarding his own deteriorating health. In the sunny month of August in the year 1227, Genghis Khan drew his last breath. A few claim it occurred on the 18th day, while others insist it was the 25th. The exact date remains a mystery. What is definite, however, is that his passing was shrouded in secrecy. His soldiers carried on with the attack as if nothing had changed, and Zhongxing surrendered the next month. The takeover was ruthless, resulting in immense suffering for the city's inhabitants and nearly extinguishing the Xia civilization. It marked one of the most tragic collapses of any empire in history. Over time, numerous tales emerged regarding the mysterious death of Genghis Khan. Ancient texts suggest he may have been afflicted with illnesses such as malaria or typhus, while others believe he fell victim to the plague. Various travelers shared conflicting accounts, some claiming he was shot with an arrow during a battle, while others insisted he was struck by lightning. An intriguing legend even spoke of a woman who betrayed him when he least expected it. These diverse narratives added to the mystery surrounding his demise, leaving the actual cause shrouded in uncertainty. Before his death, Genghis Khan had a final wish: to be laid to rest in a hidden manner. He did not desire a grand burial or elaborate rituals. He entrusted his faithful soldiers to carry out his request, leading them back to Mongolia, while ensuring no one could trace their path. Those who encountered the procession met a permanent fate of silence. Upon reaching the predetermined burial site, he was interred in a simple fashion. The area was then trampled by a multitude of horses until all traces vanished. The mountain where he was buried became a revered and guarded location, forbidden to the common people. For 800 years after his passing, nobody has been able to locate his burial site. Numerous attempts have been made to uncover the mysterious resting place, but it remains undiscovered. The mountain where he was laid to rest still remains undisturbed, with an eerie silence surrounding it. Following his death, his remains were brought close to the revered Burkhan Khaldun Peak, located in the Kentai Mountains. Access to the area was restricted to a select group of guards. Upon ascending to the throne 2 years later, his son paid tribute to his father by organizing days of ceremonies. However, the exact location of the burial site remained undisclosed. There are conflicting views among individuals regarding the possibility of his body being interred in a different location to shield it from the hot summer temperatures. The actual facts surrounding this matter remain shrouded in mystery. Throughout his reign, the global landscape underwent transformation that continues to resonate today. The Mongol forces embarked on a relentless campaign, resulting in a staggering loss of lives. Roughly 40 million individuals are believed to have died during their exploits. Previously prosperous civilizations, such as in China, experienced a sharp decline in population numbers. Regions like present-day Iran witnessed a devastating loss of nearly 75% of their inhabitants. By the conclusion of Mongol conquests, the world's population potentially plummeted by nearly 11%. So, who really was Khan? How did he become the most feared conqueror? Stay with us. The rise of the relentless Khan. At the age of 15, Temujin returned to Dei Sechin to marry Borda, the woman he had been promised to years earlier. Dei Sechin, who had doubted Temujin would ever come back, was relieved to see his safe return. He was supportive of the marriage and even accompanied the couple back to Temujin's camp. Dei Sechin's wife presented Huelun, Temujin's mother, with a luxurious sable cloak as a wedding gift. Temujin decided to gift this cloak to Togrul, the leader of the Karayat tribe, in hopes of forming a strong alliance. Togrul, who had fought alongside Temujin's father and shared a deep bond with him, was pleased with the gift as he was in need of trustworthy followers. Togrul welcomed Temujin with open arms and offered him protection. Temujin started attracting his own group of supporters under Togrul's influence. Strong and devoted fighters like Yelma rallied around him. At this point, Temujin and Borta celebrated the birth of their first child, a daughter named Kojin. However, the tranquility didn't endure for long. The Merkits, seeking vengeance for previous actions of Temujin's father, dispatched about 300 men to attack the young couple's camp. While Temujin and his siblings managed to flee to the mountains, Borta and Xochitl were captured. Borta was compelled to marry the younger brother of a man from her past in adherence to ancient marriage customs. Temujin turned to Togrul and his childhood friend Jamuka for assistance in rescuing Borta. Both men agreed to send 20,000 warriors to fight the Merkits. Led by Jamuka, the joint forces launched a victorious campaign. The successful mission not only saved Borta, but also strengthened the bond between Temujin and Jamuka. They spent a year and a half together, deepening their childhood friendship. Some viewed this time as a display of their strong camaraderie, while others speculated if Temujin had assumed a subordinate role under Jamuka in return for aid. Shortly after, Temujin's supporters started to view him as the leader of the Mongols. Togrul felt satisfaction in his success, while Jamuka harbored feelings of bitterness. The tension between them escalated into a full-blown confrontation. In the year 1187, Temujin and Jamuka clashed in a battle at Dalan Baljut. Despite their armies being evenly matched, Temujin experienced a decisive loss. Subsequent narratives attempted to portray him as the victor, but the original reports differed in their accounts. Years went by and Temujin's power continued to increase. In the beginning of the summer, in 1196, he allied with the Jin Empire to battle against the troublesome Tatars. In recognition of his efforts, the Jin bestowed upon him a noble title signifying his new role as a respected leader. Concurrently, he assisted Togrul in reclaiming control of the Karaites, which had been seized by a competitor backed by the Naiman tribe. These activities had a profound impact. While officially still under Togrul's leadership, Temujin had elevated himself to be considered an equal. His authority extended throughout the grasslands. Various tribes started acknowledging him, leading to a steady increase in his sway. In the year 1206, a large group gathered at the beginning of the Onan River. At this place, Temujin adopted a different name, Genghis Khan. Throughout history, there has been discussion about the true significance of this title. Certain individuals argue that it symbolized his refusal of outdated, feeble titles. Others suggest it represented power or resilience. Some believe it was associated with the concept of the ocean encircling the world, indicating his dominion over all that lies below the heavens. Regardless of the actual interpretation, this name signaled the start of a fresh chapter. Genghis Khan initiated a widespread transformation of Mongol society. The traditional tribal structure, which had safeguarded small families for many years, proved insufficient for the expansive nation he envisioned. He implemented innovative methods for mobilizing people, prioritizing loyalty to the Khan over loyalty to the tribe. As the previous leaders perished during his ascendancy, he established a fresh hierarchy that elevated his own family to the highest status, earning them the title of the Golden Family. Beneath them resided the esteemed nobles and families that had endured the conflicts. Through these modifications, Genghis fostered a more robust and cohesive country. Between the years 1204 and 1209, his main focus was on uniting the tribes and maintaining stability in the emerging empire. During this period, a prominent shaman by the name of Kokechu attempted to assert control. Kokechu had a family connection to Temujin, as his father had once been part of Temujin's family, and he had supported Temujin's rise to Genghis Khan. However, he later used his influence to sow discord within the ruling family. The first target of his manipulation was Genghis's brother Qasar, who was falsely accused and nearly put in prison before their mother intervened to defend him. Kokechu's power continued to grow, leading to him even publicly humiliating Genghis's youngest brother, Temujin. Borta warned Genghis about the threat Kokechu posed to his leadership. Despite his lingering fear of the shaman's abilities, Genghis allowed Temujin to orchestrate his demise. Following Kokechu's elimination, Genghis assumed the role of the most esteemed spiritual leader among the Mongols. In 1207, Genghis Khan appointed Korchi as governor of Siberian tribes, not for his abilities, but for his loyalty. Korchi abused his power, mistreating the people and taking women for his personal use. The tribes revolted, seized Korchi, and later assassinated Borokul, one of Genghis's most trusted allies. Genghis was furious at this loss, but his advisors convinced him not to lead the campaign himself. Instead, he sent his eldest son Jochi and a skilled commander to quell the rebellion and bring stability back to the region. And despite all this, the world still got some truths wrong about him. So what was wrongly believed? Let's dive in. The truths that were hidden. The young boy who would later rise to power as the formidable ruler of the Mongols was born in the vicinity of the serene shores of the Onon River in approximately 1162. His parents christened him Temujin, a name associated with iron and the resilience of a blacksmith. Little did those around him know that this mere child would eventually have a significant impact on the world. It was not until 1206 that he acquired his renowned title, Genghis Khan, during a grand assembly of tribes known as a Kurultai, where he was declared their leader. The significance of the term Khan was well understood, representing a ruler. However, the origin of Genghis remained shrouded in ambiguity. While some speculate it meant ocean or justice, the prevailing belief is that it epitomized supremacy, a leader among leaders. Temujin experienced a challenging upbringing filled with difficulty and risk. Life in the vast steppes was unforgiving, exposing him to cruelty from a young age. At the age of 9, his father fell victim to poisoning by rival Tatars. Following his father's passing, Temujin's own tribe turned their backs on his family, leaving his mother to raise their 7 children alone. They faced hardships in order to survive. Temujin gained early knowledge of hunting and foraging, as well as navigating through storms and hunger. He was responsible for guiding his younger siblings through cold, lengthy nights. These experiences of fear and scarcity toughened him. According to certain accounts, there is a tale of him eliminating his half-brother out of rage and desperation during a dispute over food. Whether factual or not, this story portrays the dire circumstances of his upbringing. His bad luck continued. During his teenage years, Temujin and his young wife Borta were taken captive by rival clans. They were enslaved and closely watched, but he never gave up. One night, he made a daring escape, reclaiming his freedom. These early hardships molded him into a determined and bold young man. As he entered his early 20s, he started to assemble a group of loyal companions, forming small alliances and proving himself in battle. Gradually, he established a growing network of supporters who believed in his strength and vision. Through gradual efforts, he started to bring together the scattered tribes of the steppe one by one. In 1206, Temujin united the various steppe tribes under his leadership. It was during this important meeting that he was given the title Genghis Khan. This change in identity brought about a shift in his goals. Instead of focusing solely on the steppe, he now set his sights on the world beyond and the lands unseen. Despite his great historical significance, very little is actually known about Genghis Khan's physical appearance and personal life. No authentic depictions or sculptures of him have been preserved from his era. The few descriptions that have been recorded are contradictory. While some describe him as a tall and muscular figure with long hair and a full beard, a Persian writer from a later period claimed that Genghis had red hair and green eyes. Although this description is doubtful, such characteristics were not uncommon among the varied populace of Mongolia. This uncertainty only contributes to the mysterious aura that continues to shroud Genghis Khan to this day. Genghis Khan was famous for giving other realms the opportunity to surrender peacefully. He was kind towards those who willingly submitted, but he was ruthless towards those who dared to defy him. In the year 1219, the ruler of the Khwarezmid Empire betrayed him despite Genghis offering a peaceful trade agreement along the Silk Road. Instead, his envoys and merchants were brutally eliminated. This betrayal deeply angered Genghis, leading him to embark on a vengeful campaign. The Mongol army swiftly conquered the Persian Empire, shattering its power and laying waste to its cities. Countless lives were lost, and the empire crumbled into chaos. Despite the devastation, Genghis did not halt his conquests. He marched back east to punish the Tanguts of Shishia, who had refused to lend troops for his battles. After defeating them in battle, he decreed the annihilation of the Tangut royal lineage as retribution for their defiance. Despite his brutal methods of punishment, Genghis Khan had a surprisingly accepting attitude towards different religious beliefs. Unlike other rulers during his time, he believed in allowing people the freedom to practice their own religions. He implemented laws to protect this freedom and even granted tax exemptions to religious institutions. This decision was not only a display of wise leadership to maintain order among his subjects, but also a reflection of the inclusive culture of the steppe. The Mongol Empire consisted of individuals from various religious backgrounds, including Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, shamans, and others. Genghis Khan himself followed a belief system that respected the spirits of nature and would often pray for days before engaging in battle. He also welcomed wise men from different faiths into his presence. In his later years, he extended an invitation to the Taoist master, Chu Chuji, to have discussions on topics such as life, peace, and eternal life. During Temujin's early ascent, a significant event took place in the year 1203 when he experienced treachery from Togrul, the leader of the Kariot tribe whom he had previously served. Togrul's offspring misled him into thinking that Temujin's proposal for a union through marriage was a hidden agenda to seize control. Consequently, Temujin was betrayed by someone he had placed his trust in. Despite managing to evade 2 traps, he was ultimately vanquished at the Battle of Kalakaljid Sands. His troops dispersed, leading his adversaries to believe that he had been defeated. However, Temujin did not remain downtrodden for an extended period of time. He united the remaining loyal warriors and escaped to a secluded location known as Baljuna, located in the southeastern region of Mongolia. In this remote area, with just a small band of followers, he established a solemn pledge that became known as the Baljuna Covenant. They vowed to stick together through thick and thin, pledging to never forsake each other. This commitment forged a bond akin to that of a family, serving as the core source of Temujin's resilience. During the summertime, Temujin attracted additional supporters, individuals who were inspired by his bravery and determination. Before long, his army became formidable once more. When fall arrived, he felt prepared to confront the Kariot tribe. In a fierce military encounter, he emerged victorious, signifying the beginning of a new era in the grasslands. The stormy legacy of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan's complex and enduring legacy influences various regions globally even now. His narrative encompasses strength, bravery, devastation, belief, and profound transformation. It is a tale containing moments of triumph and tragedy, reshaping perspectives of him throughout the ages. This straightforward narrative portrays his legacy as a broad road comprising both elements of honor and suffering, attracting continued global interest. Genghis Khan's leadership began with uniting the various Mongol tribes that had previously been at odds with each other. By achieving this unity, he was able to establish the largest land empire in history, spanning vast regions of Asia and extending towards Europe, influencing various cultures and transforming perspectives. The empire facilitated the development of new trade routes, enhancing communication and enabling peaceful exchange of goods and ideas between distant societies. As a result, many tribes that once faced hardship or fear experienced newfound prosperity and security. Although Genghis Khan may not have directly penned the renowned code of laws often attributed to him, he did transform the legal framework within his empire. By appointing a trusted individual named Shigi Kutuk to oversee a robust and esteemed court, he significantly enhanced the efficiency and authority of the justice system throughout his territories. This development was seen by many as the establishment of a fresh and orderly system. However, There is a darker aspect to the tale of Genghis Khan as well. His campaigns were marked by extreme brutality and cruelty. Numerous cities and settlements in China, Central Asia, and Persia bore the brunt of his ruthless attacks. Once vibrant centers of art, knowledge, and civilization were laid to waste. The anguish endured by families and societies persisted for generations. This aspect of his impact is characterized by profound sadness that cannot be overlooked. Maybe his biggest error was his strategy for passing down power. He believed that distributing his empire to his sons would foster harmony and stability. However, it ended up causing chaos and disputes instead. Various regions of the empire drifted apart from each other. Eventually, these regions evolved into distinct entities with unique objectives. Before long, the United Empire fragmented into four main divisions: the Golden Horde, the Chagatai Khanate, the Ilkhanate, and the Yuan dynasty. The unity he established eventually fell apart as the framework he established was incapable of maintaining cohesion. Years after, there were still those who viewed him as a significant figure. By the mid-60s, a prominent newspaper went as far as to dub him the Man of the Millennium. They saw him as embodying the delicate balance of humanity, encompassing both order and chaos, as well as kindness and fierceness. Present-day scholars tend to see his impact as a mixture of positive and negative aspects, rather than being purely one or the other. His story is seen as a reflection of both success and sorrow, making it relatable on a human level. For a considerable period, particularly in Mongolia, Genghis Khan was not just remembered as a political figure, but as a figure of reverence. In the late 1500s, when Altan Khan adopted Tibetan Buddhism, Genghis was elevated to a divine status. He was revered in various ways. Some viewed him as a new manifestation of an ideal ruler. Others linked him to ancient Buddhist monarchs. His name was invoked during weddings and significant events. Families paid tribute to him during ancestor ceremonies. There was a belief among many that he would return when the Mongol people were in greatest need. This portrayal made him a symbol of devotion and a protective spirit. Over time, opinions about Genghis Khan evolved within the Muslim community. Initially, there was fear that his rule as a non-Muslim ruler could signal the apocalypse. However, as some of his descendants converted to Islam, perceptions began to change. Some started to see his presence as a deliberate intervention to revitalize and purify their communities. During the emergence of Arab nationalism in the 19th century, Genghis Khan became increasingly regarded as a threatening character. Numerous individuals held the belief that he initiated the decline of their society, particularly due to the devastating sack of Baghdad led by his descendant. The anguish caused by this event continued to linger in their recollections, influencing their portrayals of him. But the most shocking part of his life is that his body has been hidden and never been found. Why was it hidden? The secret the mountain still keeps. The story of Genghis Khan's hidden grave is one of the sweetest and most mysterious tales in the world. For almost 800 years, people from many nations have searched for it. They have followed old stories, crossed wide lands, and looked from the sky, hoping to uncover a truth buried deep in Mongolia's heart. But after all this time, the grave still sleeps quietly in its secret place. No one has touched it. No one has seen it. It remains safe, calm, and hidden, as if the land itself is protecting it. Many groups from around the world have tried to find the grave. They studied old writings, walked through mountains and fields, and even used satellites to scan the Earth from above. One famous project by National Geographic used many images from space to look for clues. But even with all these modern tools, nothing has changed. Mongolians still do not want the grave to be found. To them, it is not a treasure chest waiting to be opened. It is a promise made long ago, a sacred wish they must protect. In Mongolia, Genghis Khan is loved more than ever. His face appears on the money. His name is printed on everyday items. Many people see him as the father of their nation, someone whose strength shaped their identity. Because of this deep love, it surprises outsiders when they hear that his grave must never be disturbed. But for Mongolians, it is simple. Disturbing his rest would be disrespectful. His final wish for peace must be honored. Finding the grave is also difficult because of the land itself. Mongolia is a very large country, more than 7 times bigger than Great Britain, but only a small part has proper roads. Most of the land is empty wilderness with mountains, valleys, rivers, and wide open grasslands. Very few people live in many of these places. The land stretches endlessly, quiet and untouched. A place like this can hide secrets easily, and Genghis Khan's grave is one of those secrets the land refuses to give up. One archaeologist, Dr. Diamajov Erdenabatar, has spent many years studying these difficult places. He worked on an early project in 1990 that tried to search for the grave in Khenti province, where Genghis Khan was born. But that same year, Mongolia changed forever. The people peacefully removed the old communist government and built a new democratic country. During this time of change, many Mongolians felt that searching for the grave was wrong. Protests began and the project was stopped. Years later, Dr. Erdenabatar studied an ancient cemetery belonging to Xiongnu kings. These graves are more than 2,000 years old. He believes the Xiongnu were ancestors of the Mongols, so their burial style might show how Genghis Khan himself was buried. When asked if the great leader's grave would ever be found, he simply shrugged. The world is too big, life is too short, and the work is never-ending. Many people believe Genghis Khan is buried on a holy mountain called Burkhan Khaldun, which lies around 160 kilometers northeast of Ulaanbaatar. As a young man, he once hid on this mountain to escape danger. He promised he would return to it when he died. But even this story has many questions. Some scholars think he is buried somewhere on the mountain. Others doubt it. No one truly knows. Another professor, Dr. Sadnam Solman, agrees that the mountain is sacred, but warns people not to assume that the tomb is there. Parts of the mountain are not open to women, and even reaching some areas is difficult. In the past, the entire region was hidden from everyone except royal families. It was called the Great Taboo. Today, this same land is protected by law and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Because of this, researchers cannot dig or explore there. So even if the tomb is truly on the mountain, no one can ever confirm it. During the 20th century, when Mongolia was under Soviet control, the name of Genghis Khan was forbidden. The Soviets wanted to remove his memory to weaken Mongolian pride. His story was removed from school books and visits to his birthplace were banned. But after Mongolia became independent in the early 1990s, his legacy returned. Today, he symbolizes strength and unity. His name is seen in art, buildings, books, and even the main airport. Historians still try to understand where he might be buried by reading old writings, but these writings often tell different stories. Some say 1,000 horses ran across the land to hide the path to his grave, which makes it seem like the grave lies in a plain, but his promise suggests a mountain. To make things more confusing, a scholar once said that in ancient times, there were 5 mountains called Burkhan Khaldun. Most people believe the modern one is correct, but no one can be sure. Because researchers cannot study the mountain closely, every idea remains unproven. The grave stays hidden, quiet, and mysterious. The mountain holds its secret deeply, and it seems determined to keep it. Why does this matter so much to Mongolia? It is because they see Genghis Khan not only as a warrior, but also as a builder. While the West often remembers the battles he fought, Mongolians remember the world he created. He made the Silk Road safe. He protected religious freedom. He respected diplomacy. He supported paper money and created a fast postal system. His ideas shaped many parts of life, long before the modern world. What do you think about Genghis Khan? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more celebrity gist. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.